Hello, hello. Maybe can you hear me? Excellent. Uh-huh. Okay. I was going that over the stream. Oh, there we go. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. We'll be getting started here in just a few moments as soon as I figure out what the heck is going on with my video today. Be right back. Hello, this is Karunamon, and welcome to Riven, the sequel to Myst, and a game I have not played in many years. Tonight, God, my windows are an absolute mess today. Hosting with me tonight is Nuv and Dibe. Hey, Nuv. Uh-oh. Nuv, do you have your mic on? Hey, there you go. Welcome, Nuv. So, okay, you may not be. Okay, let me swap this over. This is kind of what I was afraid of. Speakers, HD, let's try that. Okay, how about now? Can you try talking?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hey, there we go. Saw the bar move that time.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, excellent. Kodiak Rabbit and James Sharkbite, thank you for stopping by today. Belated thank you to James Sharkbite for the follow. I think that came up while we were streaming Myst the other day, and I never got around to thanking you for that, so thank you. I'm going to switch over now, and we'll see if this will actually capture. That's kind of what I've been fighting with here for the past few minutes. Go. Okay. That does not look right. So does anybody see the in-game menu for Riven right now? Oh, you know what? Okay. I see what happened.
I see the top left corner of it.
Why you do this?
Technology.
Not the best. Okay, the aspect ratio is going to be screwy because it doesn't look like there's a way to force this into... the windowed mode I just forced it into by pressing Alt-Enter. Oh, wonderful. There we go. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, switch over. Boom! There we go. Looks all nice and professional now, exactly like it should. So, for those of you not familiar, Riven basically picks up exactly where Mist leaves off story-wise, minus, wandering Mist Island for however long. I don't think they ever state how long this actually takes, do they?
Just so you know, if you need to adjust the aspect ratio, I think you hold Shift, Alt, or Control while resizing something in Streamlabs.
Ah, there we go.
One of the three.
That's basically perfect here, because otherwise it was going to be crazy because of the widescreen I'm on. So let's start this up.
So just as a heads up, I've got the stream on a maybe 5-second delay or so.
This was just so amazing to see. This game first came out. Yeah, Kodiak, I think Riven is probably going to take a bit longer. If nothing else, because I don't remember Riven. Hey, Atris. What's going on, buddy?
Thank God you've returned. I need your help. There's a great deal of history that you should know. But I'm afraid that I must continue my writing. Here. Most of what you'll need to know is in there. Keep it well hidden.
So from a technical standpoint, this is actually running under Scum VM.
For all reasons you'll
It's not the
discover,
native game.
I can't send you to Riven with a way out.
But it's also the Steam
But I
release,
can
right?
give you this.
That's right.
It appears
Yeah,
to
they
be a
used,
linking book.
They packaged it
Back in
with
the
Scum
dummy.
VM as a way of making it work with modern
But
systems.
it's actually a one-man prison.
One-man prison, which is not the same thing as the red and blue books from the last game.
Once you've found Catherine,
Technically, it is the same thing, but it's
Signal
not
me.
actually the same thing.
and I'll come with a linking book to bring us back.
It's in that weird sort of canonical, but not exactly.
Yeah, as far as the story of Riven is concerned, it is the same thing. But again, Mist and Riven's canonicity are weird.
There's also a chance, if this all goes well, that I might be able to get you back to the place that you came from.
You just get the sense that you're going on this epic adventure. Here we go. And we're in a trap.
Alright, first puzzle. Figure out how to open this door.
Nothing interesting ever happens here. Oh god, who are you?
Yo? Feriaje. Kakaware po. Moduwe po me po. Tagema. Rekoak. Tagema. Busu
Now,
rekoak.
is he speaking the Dunny language right here?
Isirapo. Isirapo.
I'm not sure if he's speaking
Mutika
Dunny or if
bukuanai.
he's speaking Rivenese. I'm
Misira.
pretty sure it's Dunny.
Mutika bukuanai. Bukuanai. Isirapo. 不过来，不过来。
If the music is warbling, try changing it. Try turning on or off low latency mode in the stream settings, and then refresh.
Well, now.
He got necked.
If I recall right, we never actually find this guy again.
Well, I'll show you a thing later.
Okay.
There's like a 1.5 second delay on the audio for me.
It's not too bad. Okay, so some girl came by and let us out, and we no longer have our trap book. We just have the diary.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we just were.
Well, the diary is your starting place for figuring out most of the beginning puzzles in this place, and some of the later ones.
There actually is some good info in there. Idris did tell us that most of what we need to know will be in here.
Yeah, thankfully it's a pretty short read. It's like 20 pages. But look at the cliffside that's on your left as you arrive.
Looking...
Yep. Now, face upwards when you look at the cliff.
Ah, I never knew you could do that.
Now, look on the bottom right and bottom left corners of the rock face, and you'll see two kids' faces hidden in the texture work.
Bottom left and bottom right corners of the face. Oh yeah,
Very
yeah.
faint.
There's the two eyes, there's the nose, there's the smile. That is really clever. I never noticed that before.
There's two
Yep,
kids
and there's
on
the
this
other one.
screen. And there's a few of these scattered around Riven. I believe these are the kids of one of the developers.
Oh, that is a neat Easter egg. I never knew that existed.
Yeah, Riven is full of Easter eggs.
Alright, so let's actually start poking around here a little bit. We have what looks like a telescope?
Sort of.
Looks like it's not active right now, so if this runs like I think it does, it probably runs on Steam.
You have the Steam chat open or Stream chat open.
Yep, I can actually read
You
it.
want me to
Got the
read it?
game windowed.
All right, cool.
Okay, so some combination we're gonna need later.
Trapped souls, trapped forever within the game.
Ah, I wonder if this is where that guy got dragged off to.
I'll show you a thing later.
With this lever?
Actually, I'll just show you now. Stand in front of stand on the screen where you leave the little prison where you enter, turn right, and walk all the way forward to the cliff. And then look down.
Oh! He is there. Well then. Not even a proper burial. Savages, I tell you. Okay, so that's jammed with that. Pick it up.
That Rivenese dagger.
They warped into Riven a little too far left, straight into solid rock. Transporter malfunction.
They were written into the age that way. When I first played Riven, I never really got past this until after I got the Prima guide.
Oh, these are
Back
the
then
images
I
from the
was,
CD case.
yeah. The CD case images. If you don't know, because this game is digital, the 5-disc CD version for PC came with images on each of the CD sleeves. And those images are the same images that are in the beetle viewers in this room you stand in the first island.
So this looks very much like someone writing a linking book.
And if James Sharkbite wants to go get my copy from the other room, he can take a look at that himself.
That was the one I was just looking at. Okay, what? Oh, it backed me up. Okay.
This tells a story.
Okay, this person who can write books is apparently worshipped as a god here.
Well, if you want to go back to the previous one, I can narrate each of these images for you because I am the lore master, second only to Rawa
That's right.
himself.
Okay. There we go.
In the beginning, there was Gen, a god with the power to create worlds by writing them into existence.
Second one.
Hailing from the long-lost civilization of Denis, who, like him, were all gods, he came to his ages bringing nothing of value, honestly, only asking the people worship him. And worship him they did, as he had control over their world using his writing.
Generally a smart idea when somebody that can control your world is around. Okay,
Yeah, it also means that person's a dick, because they're not actually gods.
me, I think. Oh dear.
I think that might be 4.
That- Nope, that was... Unless these are laid out funny. That was...
Oh, yeah, okay. So I guess that was 3. Or maybe we started on 2. I'm not sure. Hang on, I gotta refresh the stream because it just
Oh, no.
crashed for me. Okay, here we go, I'm back. Gen casts his son down into the fissure, a empty void that opened up in the land and the sea that was filled with stars. There's another way to interpret this particular picture. The moment I fell into the fissure, I realized the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. I continued falling into that starry expanse, of which I only had a fleeting glimpse.
Okay. The way this backs you off is very disorienting.
Yeah, I mean,
James
300.
Sharkbite. Today I learned there are gamers that have never owned a game on CD or disc. Yep, we call those people Zoomers.
Okay, yeah, this is definitely number 4. So, minor spoilers if you intend to get the full story from Mist: The Book of Atris, the actual novel. But Gen enlists the people of this age where we're standing, where he cast Atris into the starry expanse, supposedly, quote unquote, to begin creating new pages using a giant tree, grinding it up for pulp.
Yeah, something I'm noticing here is
He also
there's a lot of 5s in here.
Oh yeah. Riven is the 5th age he wrote. He calls it his 5th age. Also, if you take a look on the second panel on the bottom left, you'll see he's teaching students. So there's
I think this
schools
is not
here.
laid out in left to right order. This one.
Hang on. The stream decided to start buffering for me, which is nice. Gonna refresh it.
It's not dropping frames this time.
Yeah, I think it's just my connection. Okay, so that's the second one. And yeah, it is laid out in left to right order, but when you back up, it will force you to turn either left or right, and you just kind of have to know which way you're turning, which is hard because some of the directions look identical.
Yeah. Okay.
There's one more picture,
There's one more. Okay.
because 5.
This one close to the entrance. Yeah, there we go. Fives, 5, 5.
Okay, so you just step forward and turn to the left, right, right, right. So
It's the only one we haven't seen yet.
maybe. Ah, yep, okay. And here it is, the wood from the giant tree being turned into pulp to create blank books for Gen, who you can see has on his hand the symbol for 5. That's not actually the Denis symbol for 5. I don't know where that particular symbol comes from.
Considering how much it's splattered all over the place here, on the walls, the doors, on the floor, that's something to do with this age.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell, but it might the tiny little circle in the middle of that star pattern might be the Denis symbol of 5, which is a square with a horizontal line bisecting that square. Oh yeah, that's it right there. That little double rectangle.
Okay, so we have some kind of rotating room puzzle here.
Yep, that right there, in the dead center in the middle of the floor, that square, that is the Denis symbol for 5.
Okay, so now we can only look inside. And okay, now this grate is in a different place, so I'd be willing to bet there's another way into this room.
Yep, so this rotating room has 2 exits that rotate 1/5 of the way at a time.
Let's see, let's go around. Clock gate. So we don't have a key for it. There's that weird little knife thing again. So keeping this in mind. Doesn't look like there's anything else interesting here. It's just right here.
Right, I just turned off low latency mode, and I am now no longer lagging behind by 20 seconds. It's just like 3 seconds, so that's way better.
Okay. So I get the feeling that I'm gonna have to come back here later on.
You can solve this entire rotating room puzzle right now without even crossing that bridge.
Interesting, okay. So let's poke the button.
You just need to have like this puzzle purely requires a good sense of spatial.
Oh, so I'm screwed. Okay, so if it moves 1/5 of the way. Okay, so
So, I'll give you your first hint here.
room remains stationary. It's the world that rotates around it. Ah, of course.
Correct. There's, well, yes, the room does remain stationary, and the world does revolve around this one specific room. However, that does not change the mechanics of this puzzle at all. That's the real trick. So no, you can rotate this room, and 2 different doors will line up here. If you cannot get through this room into another room from either of those 2 doors, that means you must find another way into this room from outside.
Okay, so I pushed it 3 times. We do have another doorway is blocked off now. Guessing there isn't some clever way. There's a hidden button in here or something to rotate it while you're inside, but that would seem to defeat the whole point. So we now have a grate in front of another door of some kind.
You cannot open any of these grates from inside this room.
Fair enough. Okay, so if I poke it one more time, that tells me I'm going to be looking through a peephole again.
Looking through a peephole between the 2 doors.
And one more push will return it back to normal.
Yes, and that door that was just you were just now looking at the grate from will be the one you're looking at now.
Okay, but you said there was something to solve here.
There is. You need to find a way to open those grates.
There's kind of...
So your first hint, let me reiterate. There's another way that you can get into this room from outside this room right now.
without messing with the bridge.
And that is the key to actually getting on the ball of solving this puzzle.
Okay. Don't think there's anything down the other side.
And can I just take a moment to talk about how awesome the Prima Guide is for this game?
It's like UHS before UHS was a thing.
It's a novelization.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so when you open the Prima Guide, it says that it's split in half. Half of it is actually a story written from the point of view from the player that has thoughts and actions in it rather than just telling the player what to do.
It is slick. Okay, so the only other thing I see on this side of the bridge is the locked gate. But that's going to be way below that room.
Think 3-dimensionally.
Okay, I have to ask something mildly spoilery. Is there pixel hunting in this game?
Only if you're trying to find Easter
Okay.
eggs.
Okay, so I would see at least whatever it is I'm supposed to be seeing here.
Yeah, and don't worry, there are no puzzles where you have to click on an empty table to cause a book to magically appear on it.
Yeah, I'm still kind of WTF'd out about that one. I don't think they ever explained that. Okay, so let's reset this back to the normal position.
I will say this, the way that you get to the other entrance to this room is obscenely obtuse.
See if we can look through here. We can't do anything from inside. Looks like there's a total of 3 ways in and out of this room.
Or maybe it might be better to say that it's unfairly obvious.
Unfairly obvious. Some kind of writing on the wall here we can't really understand, at least not yet.
The 2 hints I've given you, think 3-dimensionally and find another way in from outside. That looked like the worst padlocked door in the world, says Kodiak Rabbit.
Yeah, if this is one of those games, the person can probably deliver a swift kick to it and get it open, but this isn't a Sierra Adventure game, unfortunately. Speaking of Sierra Adventure games, are there a lot of ways to die in Riven?
Not a lot of ways to die, but ways to die there are.
Think 3-dimensionally. playing Rail Mist kind of spoiled me here because this is the direction you end up looking when you click to move is somewhat disorienting.
Yeah, I'd really like Riven to have been somehow redone with Exile-like controls. And if you don't know what that's like, every single frame is actually a photosphere.
Oh, are you kidding me? You go under the gate?
I told you it was
Okay.
obvious.
Okay.
Unfairly so. Well,
That was a lucky click. Okay, so let's... Now that I see what's going on here, let's flip this over.
oh boy. Yeah, Journeyman Project.
I remember playing a demo for that game and finding, indeed, quite a lot of ways to die.
Journeyman Project had the same challenges that Myst had in that it was a CD-ROM game loading off of the CD-ROM. Like one image at a time.
It's getting stock door in the gate. Okay, so if I understand this right now, I'm going to be looking at... Oh no. Okay, I need to flip it one more time.
But look, that's another throughway. I think you can press a button to skip the rotation animation. Last time I played Riven without
Oh, that's helpful.
skip space.
Yeah, you can just press escape. Okay. So we're looking at this the other way.
Okay, so you're
Still
still
blocked.
blocked.
Still no other way out here. Still no control for the grate.
Nope, but another 2 rotations and you'll have another entrance on this side.
Mistakenly clicking the gate and rattling it. I feel like Gen's dog.
We call those Bachro.
There we go. Ah, now we have controls. But anything that is for the gate. Hear machinery, I can't see anything. But that was the gate though, and here we have steam control for the telescope. Okay, so I think we've turned that back on.
Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Muabi! Has been a long time. Oh no, there's no way to skip the audio. Sit here and listen to rattly rock noises.
Yeah, but it was really cheap to render this.
True. Okay. So the grate is gone. Now we're left with a large metal door here that we can't really do anything with another control. That was it.
That's me. Nice to meet you. I'm co-hosting today. I'm the lore master for this game.
Yep, New Bandai is some kind of god when it comes to understanding the lore of the Myst series.
Well, first you have to understand the lore is not lore, it's actually just wrong.
I just got new speakers, and the bass of that.
I'm not a dev or anything. Oh, I am a game developer, but I don't work with Cyan on anything. I'm just a fan of the Myst series.
Yeah, yeah. When I said God, I mean he's really good, not like Word of God.
Yeah. That'd be Richard Watson. Yeah, that'd be Richard Watson.
Okay, so now we're back to almost where we started. We still have a door here that we can't quite open, but if we pop the room a couple of times, we should be able to get over to that.
Well, did you lower all of the levers, like the one machinery thing that you found the other
Yes, I
time?
did. Okay, there we go. We're through. Some golden dome here. This looks like a power station of some sort, maybe?
Your intuition serves you well.
One. Just give me flashbacks to the fireplace puzzle.
Actually, you will have seen these same symbols before on the diagrams on the bug viewers inside the room you were just in.
Really?
Yes, I can tell you what these symbolize, unless you'd like to come across that answer yourself.
Okay, wait. Inside the bug things, that's just the,
One bug thing to the left of the one where he's got the hand on the book.
Okay, that brings us to this one. Ah, there it is.
And that's how it actually is technically supposed to be laid out, those squares. In fact, if you want to screenshot or jot that down, and you don't have to jot down each and every one of the individual squares, you can kind of just like draw the overall outline that the squares
Okay, I did
form
just
when they're
screenshot
stuck
that
together.
for.
So you can draw a big square, and a little square, and then an L on the bottom left.
So I did just screenshot that for future use. Let's have a peek through here. This looks like a steam station almost. Or a geothermal station.
Well, the water effect looks like it's kind of working in there, but
We have another steam control. This is for a drawbridge.
yep. And think Channelwood rules here.
Oh, but did that raise it?
It powered it.
Okay, so channel wood rules. I gotcha. So it's on. We have to find a way to actually interact with it later. We have an elevator.
Channelwood rules.
It looks like I need to put something in here. Channel wood rules. Okay, so when that one was off, it was just venting it out the top, so I don't think I removed power from anything else just now. Let's have to walk down this cave. Another one?
It's not nuclear, it's just, alien. Talking to James on the chat.
It does have that kind of Cherenkov glow, doesn't it? Still no effect on this bridge-like thing. It almost looks like a minecart ride.
Now, you can't solve all of this on this trip. I told you could solve that rotating room puzzle on this trip.
Yes, it looks like we are missing some things right now. This almost looks like there's something you're supposed to plug into the wall here. The thing we're standing on is some kind of platform that will raise up once we've done the right thing. But we have flipped all of the steam switches we can. So that's good. does look like, at least for the moment. There's some other entrances here. I'm guessing that's where the drawbridge controls come in. It'll allow us. Okay, yeah. We get here from the other side. We'll rotate that. It'll extend the bridge and allow us to go over.
Again, your intuition serves you well.
Okay. So I believe we're done here.
Yeah, if you make a guess that's spot on,
Okay,
I'll let you know.
good stuff. So let us take a walk down here into another cave. That looks... I was going to say kind of torture chambery,
Welcome
but...
to the first light routine game. This chair always made me very nervous when I first played it.
Yeah, it looks like something bad happens here. But it looks like there's another 5-pointed star, like a microphone here. This is a broadcast station. Looked like flipping that switch actually did anything. Maybe you turned it on?
I kind of regret now saying that if you make a guess that was spot on, I would let you know. That was a spot on guess. This is a broadcast station.
That thing totally looks like a mic.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Go behind this thing. No, this isn't real mist. We can't do that. What do we have here? Okay. Just a lens showing us somewhere else. Can't really interact with it.
It's one of those head scratching things, but way bigger.
And we have same thing. We have a lever. Oops. Open the door. Okay. A lot of secret stuff happens in here.
Yep. Try looking at the door that you just came through.
Or I just came through.
It's a secret door.
Minus the obvious handle.
Minus the obvious handle, yes, but later on, if you need to come back through this, just remember that it's hard to see.
Ah. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm gonna make another one of those guesses. Is this some kind of Wizard of Oz type shit? You sit in the thing in the other room and you're seen as like a
You said you haven't played
hologram
this
in
game
here?
very much before?
I've never even come close to beating it, and it's been literally over 10 years. Because I mean, there's fruit and stuff piled all around it. It's got the gold theme, and it looks just like the other thing.
Well, yeah, you are correct. This is a Wizard of Oz situation here.
All the better to sate Gen's sense of being worshipped like a god. Creature here with some very rotten fruit in front of it.
Yep. Now, some lore background, since you've already guessed it. It's Dunny technology that's allowing him to broadcast his face. In fact, it's technology you get to play around with a lot when we come around to actually playing Uru Live. There's a lot of future stuff. Holograms.
Something else interesting in here.
Well, the one thing I want you to take note of in that room, Just for context, leader, not really for puzzle solving, but look at the animals to which the sacrifices are being made, the offerings.
These critters, they look like some kind of sea creature. Looks like they have gills here. Or fin, or
They are called,
scales.
they're like a whale shark.
Whale shark.
They're called horks.
Arcs. Okay.
It's not the actual name of the animal as named by the Revenese, but that's what the fan base calls them.
Alright.
So like weird tusked whale sharks.
That sounds kind of dangerous, actually.
Yeah, they're carnivores. Carnivores, I believe.
Okay. I do remember this because these are everywhere.
I think there's only like 2 or maybe 3 of these.
Well, the only reason I remember it is because you had to swap discs every time you rode one of these things, and it was a pain in the butt.
Not on the DVD or Steam versions. Flying cars from Jetson sound effect. Alright, you got through the first island of seeing these quickly. I guess pointing out how possible, or how you started the puzzle, because it's one of those games where the hardest moment is at the beginning, I think.
Yeah, that whole sense of what am I supposed to do now going on.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do now? Oh, I can go under the
Let's take a
darn
ride.
thing. Catch a ride.
Oh, throw your hands up in the air. Whee! Oh god, this didn't feel safe. Wait a minute, didn't Matrix say this age is falling apart?
This age is falling apart.
I don't know how I
yes.
feel about writing
Yes.
in this stuff anymore.
Well, don't worry, it's pre-rendered.
Yes, but did they pre-render a death for my amusement?
Do you want an answer to that?
Not right now. What have we have here? Some kind of ball?
Yep.
It's a croaking
Funny
noise?
thing, I've watched... Yeah, croaking noise. Observe that more closely in a second, but I just want to say, I have seen... Everyone that I've ever watched to do a Let's Play of Riven misses a vital clue with this ball.
Yeah, it looks like a KI and a frog croaking.
Well, the symbol you want to pay attention to is the entire symbol, from the top and bottom bars being slightly longer than the sides. The entire thing. If you want to screenshot that or write it down, write that down along with the sound it makes. That's 2 of the clues you need to take from this.
Okay. I'll do that one more time because I didn't time that screen correctly. Oh, you delayed it, you piece of junk. Sorry, give me one moment while I beat my screenshot application into submission. Apparently there is a delay set on there that is going to make that very tricky to do.
And by beat into submission, you mean reconfigure?
Yes, exactly.
Ah, of course.
Settings. I am doing that horribly. Move, could you do that screenshot? I'm gonna have to fix this before next stream.
Yep. I will screenshot it and paste it to you on Discord.
one more time, and then we will move on. So we have sound and number puzzles. So I'm thinking 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4. Ah, only 4. Well, that doesn't fit the theme at all. Unless the
You're
4
right.
is important.
So disregard that.
Disregard that, you say?
Mhm. So disregard the counting, because it doesn't seem to fit the theme. I'll just tell you that.
Good info.
By the way, go back out slowly toward the tram.
Okay. So I'm looking at it. Did I go too far?
Okay. No, it's just something hard to notice that literally everyone I've ever watched play this game, including myself, misses. It's actually an important clue. You want me to just tell you where it is? You can take what you want from it.
Sure.
Go back into the cavern.
Okay.
Turn around and face the eyeball ball.
Oh, from inside the cavern.
From inside the cavern.
Oh, that looks vaguely froggy, doesn't it?
Time to screenshot.
Saved. There's some kind of frog theme going on here. We have another tram car button that doesn't appear to have done anything.
I can tell you what that button does.
Let me guess. It summons the... Well, no, because that one has a button out in front, so I really don't know then.
Actually, go look.
No, it's there still. Oh, that was... Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yes, where's the
sorry.
button?
Like I said, spatial awareness is not my strong suit. Okay, so that button must be how you summon the train car for this area if it's not already here.
Correct. If you somehow end up on this island while the tram is back on the first island, and you need to take it back to the first island, that's what you do.
Let us go downstairs. Oh, hello. Oh, is this the area that we saw in the Rime Age at the end of Real Mist?
Yes.
This looks really familiar. We have some kind of platypus seal creatures.
The fan name for these is Sunners.
Sunners. And they just nope out of there.
The solution, they have a clue for you, but in order to obtain the clue, it's kind of obtuse. I had to look up how to do it.
Curious about something. Okay, so it doesn't like instantly reset or something like that.
Nope, but it will reset eventually.
Oh, how did I find that? Okay, there's another ball. That sounded like a seal crying. And that looks like the same symbol we saw at the center of the star.
Yes.
So, seal and that.
I already screenshotted that to you on
Thank you, sir.
Discord.
I just found that one completely by accident, too. It's not really... It doesn't really stand out here. There it is. But...
I was preparing to tell you if you left here, I was preparing to tell you you need to keep exploring down there.
Okay. Also, this whole rock formation kind of looks like one of those critters, too. Flipper, body.
Well, You mean like the creatures that were sunning themselves just now?
Uh, no, they had long bills. This thing doesn't.
No, but
Oh, that
look
does
again.
look like those things we saw in that earlier room. The big eyes, the two flippers, legs, tentacles, things right in front.
Yep, in front of where the offerings
Yeah,
are being
the
offered.
wark. Interesting happening out here. Okay. Let's explore the other direction.
I went ahead and edited that note, that observation you made on Discord, that it is on a warp-shaped rock.
Okay, so we have some kind of... It looks like we got some trees that were cut down. Actually, yeah, is that an axe? If I can click on it. Yeah, that's... Or is that a lever?
Big axe. I think it's a. I
That,
don't know what that is. I don't think it's actually something you can interact with.
I think I had a view of it there a second ago. Yeah, that's just a big honkin' axe. Okay, fork in the road. Let's go left. Oh, what's this? Where's my cursor? Oh, hello.
It's playing a
Oh, there
motion
it is.
video.
Hi. Hello. Oh. That sounds like an alarm. I've been spotted. Alert 9999.
That sounds a little bit like a linking book sound.
Really?
A little bit.
Hmm. Oh, that does sound like the kind of thing a number 5 obsessed person who styles himself a god because he writes linking books would write into one of his books. Looks like that person took off. Was that another fork in the road?
Actually, they crouched.
Sorry?
Actually, they just crouched.
Oh. It was kind of hard to tell. It almost looked like he climbed down inside somehow, but yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I'm gonna stick with my rule of doing depth first, so I'll stay on the path I was on and then backtrack if I need to.
These numbers and sound effect notes were things I wrote down in the original journal, the original Mist journal that the original came with.
The Journal of Mist.
It says Kodiak Rabbit. Yep. I actually had my own journal that I went out and bought when I played this game.
That's some cave painting happening here.
A fair assessment.
There's our 5 again. This is really quite difficult to make out. The wall's turning the lights off or something, maybe? Oh no, some sun comes in through here unless there's a day-night cycle.
I am not certain there's a clearer way to see that.
It's a little bit clearer right now, but... So we have a man, we have our 5-star, we have... I can't really tell what he's holding or what these critters are.
Yeah, I can't either.
Okay. Let's keep moving. Okay, I definitely saw people moving this time.
These these huts are made out of daubed mud.
Someone just picked up their kid and took off.
Yep. No playing next to the Death Lake.
Some kind of... What is with this water? Some kind
It's kind of hard to tell, but
of crazy Rivenese technology here. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those actually.
yes, the water on Riven isn't always water-shaped.
Up the ladder. Path we can't get to over here. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's got those divots all around it.
Stranger
You
danger.
learn all about their stranger danger. Got a door here. And a knocker.
What? Knockers?
Is this another 5 thing?
Kind of. Doesn't actually go anywhere.
5 knocks. Hello. Can I interest you in... Oh.
Who are you? I ain't buying it.
Okay, so be on the lookout for 5 references. Note to self. That's apparently super important here.
Yep. This whole age seems to be represented by that square symbol that I mentioned is the number 5.
Hmm.
Huge tracts of land.
Have another... vehicle that does not operate yet. Okay.
Well, it's a vehicle, and it doesn't operate yet.
That's gonna be for underwater shenanigans.
Yeah. Once you level up, you can take the vehicle operation proficiency skill.
Okay, I know for a fact you're pulling my leg. I remember almost nothing about that game, but I know it's not one of those kind of games. Oh, okay, so now it's... Okay, so we just put it on the tracks. In one of those weird water holes.
Welcome to the stream. Is it Kit Kat Ham or Kit Catham?
Hey, new person, welcome. Looks like either an altar or where some godly person might sit.
Well, I mean, it's one of those offering creatures again.
Oh, yeah. Yep, definitely an altar. Probably fire involved somehow. And actually, there's our oven. Almost looks like there's something in there, but I don't see any smoke.
It's probably just a brisket, slow roasting.
Nothing else interesting for us here, I don't think, unless I've overlooked something completely obvious. Looks like I might be able to follow this bridge network to get over here somehow.
This is mostly just an area, sort of a maze-like area that you need to explore. Kit Hat Ham, 3 syllables, short for Kit. I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry.
Kit Kat Ham, we'll go with that.
Kit Kat Ham.
Okay. Did I miss any turnoffs back here? Start from a dead end. The other thing about this that is I'm having a really hard time adapting to is the fact that sometimes you turn 60 degrees, sometimes you turn 90 degrees, sometimes you turn 180 degrees.
Yeah, that's something that you would already be used to if you didn't play Real
That's
Mist.
probably what's messing me up.
Yeah. Thankfully, Exile doesn't have that problem at all. Neither does Revelations. Both of those, instead of using still frames, use photospheres. So wherever you click, you can see 360 degrees just by moving the
Ah,
mouse around.
so we go back down. On the ladder.
The 3D remake of Riven is actually a fan project called Starry Expanse, or the Starry Expanse Project. Um, Even though it's a fan project, I'm not worried about it being DMCA'd because they have Cyan's full blessing.
Oh, okay.
Real Riven, well, what would be considered Real Riven is what the fans are making in the Starry Expanse project.
Not soon enough is the answer to that, James.
And it's gonna be a while.
Did they say how far along they are?
So, do you remember back when Black Mesa was kind of first announced and then delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and then they were like, it's going to be done when it's done, and then it finally came out earlier this year? Wait for something like that.
Ah, development hell, sort of.
Uh, it's the kind of development hell you get when you have a bunch of volunteers working on a project.
Gotcha. Okay, but at least it's not
Pro-
corporate nonsense, let's put it that way.
No. They were actually at Mysterium, the Mist convention, because of course there's a Mist convention.
It's a convention for everything.
This year or late last year, showing off the progress they'd made.
Okay. I don't think I can do much else here. I need to find some way to get that tram I just dropped over here to where I can actually access it.
Back way. There's more than one way to reach this village.
Back way, you say. Looks like there'd almost be a path through here somehow.
Yeah, you cannot actually get that way at all.
Oh. Okay, so is this... It looks like I'm at a dead end right now, though, unless I'm missing some subtle thing.
You are at a dead end. As much as it looks like you should be able to get around that house and into the actual village proper, no.
Okay. So let us backtrack. To here.
Interesting, I never knew that cast a shadow before. Go back out to the village a little ways, not all the way up to the village, but onto the dock. Turn around to face the entrance to this area, and there's this big shadow being cast by a catwalk that I always have a really hard time remembering is there, even though it's right in the middle of the screen.
That does look vaguely snaky, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's a catwalk there. You can't get there right now, but it's something to keep in mind.
Okay, good info. There's another way into this area.
There's 3 ways into this area, I believe.
3 ways. Is this another... It looks pretty undefined to be another random animal shadow, but...
That is not a random animal shadow. That is a hole in what we would call rock.
Good info. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And as you may know, rock is essentially a compacted
Thank you, Mr. Data.
sediment of various minerals.
Okay. So let's go into this fork in the road we never quite examined yet.
Here we have a spinny boy.
Spinny boy. Oh, there's another...
Spinny boy.
I think I see where Avatar ripped some of their stuff off from. Whoa, what? Did I get myself lost already?
Yeah, I did get a few Riven vibes watching Avatar. And yeah, the rotation when you go through this thing is a little bit wonky.
Okay, that's where I came in at.
Yeah, you came in from the glowing red entrance.
Hang a right. What do we get? Another one of those knife-ish symbols that I don't think we can actually look at.
You can.
What the? Okay, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. How the hell did I actually get there? I was looking at this.
Clicked on it.
That is so tiny! Are you supposed to just bumble onto these?
Yep. You're bumbling pretty good onto them, actually. You found 3 of them on your own.
It's mostly because I have a habit of just clicking on everything. Boom, dagger to the heart.
Well, there's no pixel hunting, but you have to be curious about what you can and can't do.
Okay. I don't know how to equate that one. Sounds like a goat crossed with a mosquito.
Sounds like a goat crossed with a mosquito.
A little...
That is the description for the eye I just linked you on Discord.
Thank you. Okay. Glad to know my random pixel hunting habit is actually paying off here a little bit. Yeah, so if we go straight across, we're at a gate. Ah, and this was the other way through that. Yep, 'cause there's the bridge. I took the left-hand path this time. That lets us out into here. It kind of sounds like a slow draining of the saw through wood. That's a lot more accurate than a cow crossed with a mosquito. Kodiak Rabbit, anyone here buy any of the weapons that they were selling in the Riven promotional pamphlets that came with the original game, like the dagger or bolos? I wish I had the money for that. I wanted Gen's gun so bad. What would be the approximate size of the goat mosquito? Would it be capable of flight? Could it kick you dead? That's a pretty deep voice, so I'd imagine it would have to be pretty large.
I remember the dagger in Bolos.
But it was like crazy expensive too, wasn't it?
I think so. Well, I mean, I was very little at the time, and so everything was expensive to me. So I don't actually know how much it
I
cost.
couldn't have been any older than 11, maybe 12 when I first got that. So, okay, now we have another creature, idol, vaguely warky looking thingy. Side eyes,
Warky looking.
spiky front flippers, feet, whatever. Something here, this looks like the kind of thing that a person would hide a door behind.
The thing that you can do here is explained later.
Explained later.
But you can do it now. Most of the puzzles in this game are like the end puzzle from Myst. You can just open the marker switch and grab the white page and do the fireplace at the start.
But you're not supposed to know that yet.
Outer Wilds rules in that regards.
Okay. Experience with Cyan games, coming back to them after a long hiatus. Yeah, pretty much. New Van Dybe here got me playing Real Mist the other week on a lark, and it was amazing. I kind of got through it in a hurry because I had played Mist a lot more recently than I'd played Riven, and we kind of blazed through it in, I think, what, 4 hours?
Yeah, 4.5 hours or so in one sitting.
That was kind of an epic little quest. And yeah, we're just doing Riven next and progressing through the series. There's a...
Yep. The stream is on his videos tab on his channel on Twitch, if you want to go back and listen to us being awkward.
Very awkward. But yeah, there's a lot of childhood memories tied up in these two games.
Yep. And we're going to do all 6.
Whoa. I just went by here and a bug went by. Now he's gone.
Yep, that was the sound of a beetle.
There's another one.
Brief hint. Something that you didn't really fully observe. Maybe you didn't know you could click on it, but you walked into this area from outside. There was a little golden beetle on the outside of the gate. Do you remember seeing that?
I do not. I must have overlooked that.
If you see that when you walk past it again, click on it. What about Abduction and the upcoming Cyan game? You mean Firmament?
Ah, there's the beetle.
Well?
Nope.
Sound it made?
Yeah, that kind of deep buzzy noise.
A low hum with a loud sort of a clapping of wings.
I get the feeling this is going to be important later.
Yep.
Interesting.
So, Karu, Kit Kat Ham wants to know if you're planning on playing Abduction and then Firmament.
This is where I out myself as a complete normie. I actually have not been following the development or the story of either of those two games.
So, Myst 5 was the last Myst game by Cyan, but not their last game. They've made they've made one more additional point-and-click Real Myst style adventure game called Abduction with an O, which... Do you have VR?
Oh, that's the VR Mist-like game.
Well, VR was patched into it later.
Interesting. That might be worth playing. I do have an Oculus Quest if it will play on that.
I think it will play on Oculus Quest, and that would be fun to watch stream, if you can stream a VR game.
Well, we're not throwing frames on the floor anymore now, so that's a good sign.
But yeah, if you don't stream it, then I definitely will.
Oh, you have the VRs as well?
I do not, and if I stream it, I'm going to stream it with a mouse and
okay.
keyboard.
Okay, this is probably literally the only other thing I remember from Riven, is this trip. Because it's really freaking psychedelic.
Yep.
Away we go. Please keep your hands and arms inside the car at all times.
I just hope the wood chipper on the other end isn't on.
Wood chipper?
Well, yeah, they're coming from the forest through a cart on an island where they're burning wood to make paper.
Okay, and we're underwater.
And this isn't like plexiglass or anything. This is just water that has been formed into a tube.
Man, what is with the water in this place?
There is a very silly, sciencey, hand-wavy explanation that I could give you, but that's in one of the
Okay,
books.
so let's just continue. Pretty sure you remember more than 2 things from Riven way back in your Your intuition is amazing. That's very possible. It's just I consciously remember only a couple of things about it, because I remember getting stuck somewhat early on and never really progressing very far into it.
That's why I'm here.
Oh god. Oh god.
Grind.
That could have ended poorly. That literally dumped me into a wood chipper. And it would have been feet first, too.
I told you. Yep.
What a way to go. Ugh. Oh, looks like it's not even powered up right now.
Nope.
One other thing. When I fell down here, did that grate open inwards?
I don't remember. Pretty sure it opened outward. I don't know.
Okay, so yep, that's our wood chipper.
Please insert disc 3.
Yeah. Well, at least they put the disc transitions in a logical place in the previous game. Or in the initial release. Okay, this must be how we get back from here. Yeah, lever, okay. Not right now. We got exploring to do. No. Dang it. Okay, what the hell perspective? Good lord.
Pre-rendered images.
They only needed to pre-render a couple more.
Did you ever play the point-and-click adventure game called Mummy Tomb of the Pharaoh?
I did not.
I've never even heard of
Never
that.
heard of that one. Okay, so we have more Steam control shenanigans here. One goes to the wood chipper, obviously. Some massive gas furnace by the look of it. Oh, paper pulper for the books, probably. Wood chipper, pulp boiler. That makes sense.
Either that or a very unfortunately designed sauna.
Yeah, really. Do they ever explain how they get fire from steam here? Or is there a natural gas feed into this or something?
Net. I believe that this is not feeding gas. This is powering other things, other bits of machinery on that boiler.
Massive pipe under here.
Yeah, that massive pipe is where the gas comes in, I think. Either that or that's a water pipe. I think that might be a water pipe. Gosh, I don't know.
Really annoying trying to figure out where you're looking when you click on a direction. That looks dead center, so that's either like a drain or gas. I think you might be right.
I miss old FMV games too, but almost all of them were just awful.
Did you ever play Seventh Guest?
I did not ever play Seventh Guest, but it does function in
Scum VM?
Scum VM, I believe.
I think it was one of the first ones. Okay, so we have some kind of controls, maybe? Yeah, controls up here. And then... Okay, I think...
I know you mentioned you'll be streaming kind of a short stream today.
Yeah, because I can only... I think we'll hang on here until 11 Mountain Time, so another 50 minutes or so.
Okay.
I think you're right. This is either water input or gas input, because it's going straight up unless there's a pump or something I'm missing.
It's both water and gas.
Wow, okay.
Just bubbling gas water.
We have... Uh-oh. Thing I can't get into yet.
This door is barred from the other side.
Can't really see where that comes from. So, okay, there were controls up here on this thing. Let's see what those do. Oh, is that our... There's a very faded 5-star symbol, I think.
Looks like there's just 1 star on it to me.
Well, the 5-pointed star. You know, the
I
thing.
know.
The thing that the guy that runs this place has a fetish for. Okay, so we have... gas control?
Yes.
Okay, so what does this do?
Alright, so that made it stop boiling. So I think you just shut off the heat. And
Does nothing. Might be a power thing I have to move. And what does this do? Absolutely nothing.
it does something. I think there's another lever to your left.
Yeah, but that's... Oh, do I have to move it down? Yeah, I think I do. Because when I came to this, it was on its furthest right setting, which from there would point it over here. Up there. So if I want to control this, I probably have to move it, don't I? Channel wood rules, yay!
Yeah, I think the middle setting is this thing.
The water's gone now.
Huh. I think that you pulled something that causes the water to recede.
Oh,
If
there it
it's
is.
powered, and I think that... Ah, yeah. So by switching this thing on with that open, it drained the water while you weren't here.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, and that was that weird little sound I was hearing. Please explain this mechanism to me. How is this affecting that much water draining below? I don't quite understand what's going on here. Rivenese nonsense?
I don't understand. So I know that there's a mechanically, like an actual well-designed mechanical reason for that to do that thing that it's doing, but I don't know what that is.
It definitely sounds like a pump of some sort. It's just a weird way to control a pump, I guess.
And then there was also the up and down slider that you tried.
Does that do anything now? No. There was this. Ah, okay. Okay, so that raised a platform. Interesting. That was gas control. Yeah, having a steam vent pipe coming from the bottom of the chamber doesn't make quite too much sense either. And I think we're working on Mystery Science Age 5000 rules here. It's magic, they ain't gotta explain shit. The chamber is hermetically sealed, you need a way of bringing air in order for the... Oh, that makes sense actually. Maybe it's a pressure controlled thing. So by opening that, we break some kind of seal and the water can drain out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
God, it would really suck if Gin was on the other side of this thing right now.
He just closed it. Laughs at you. Haha.
Also, how am I not baking live because this thing was full of boiling hot water not 20 seconds ago?
Don't question it.
Okay. So now we go down the drain. Literally down the drain. That is just a naked pipe that flies out into nothing. Okay, so there has to be a pump hooked up to that thing. There's no other way for the water to get up there. Sorry, I'm a tech geek. Stuff like that just makes me go,
Hmm.
Is there anything here? Nice view. And can't get to right now. Ah, now we can see where the pipe work goes.
Oh, look, there's the big golden dome off in the distance.
Oh, yes. They seem to follow the, if you can see it, you can go to it rule here. So we've seen this thing from about 3 or 4 different perspectives now, I think.
I wonder what else you can see from up here.
Okay, we have thing out here in the distance. And there was this odd-looking thing out here.
What is that? Is that the stump?
The what?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to figure out, like, layout-wise, what that other island must be that you're pointing out.
There's a vaguely Egyptian vibe to it. It almost looks like something that underwater tram would go to, except that's on rails. Unless it has like a path over here or something. No, that's too far away.
Well, there's at least 2 different trams.
Well, it's not the crazy underground psychedelic one, 'cause that one only goes 2 places. It's not the it's not the underwater thing, because that's clear on the other island, which is like a mile away right now. I don't know. Wonder if we'll get to come to this later.
On a different
Wonder.
disc.
Eh. Oh, did I see the unlock for that thing down here? Yes, I did. Okay. It's the Color Island. Color Island.
I don't get it.
Over here. Still see that strange building this way, and a catwalk. So,
By the way, at the beginning of Uru, there is a man named Zandy that you come across, and he'll give you hints about how to proceed through your adventure in Uru. I'm going to give you one of his hints for Uru in here.
okay.
Sometimes you have to close one door to open another.
Do you have to close one door to open another? Interesting. Okay. What is this? Oh, that's a trap. What was that? Okay, this is a trap for something. Springs it. Bupkis. Oh, the steam going to the other direction.
Channel wood.
Yep. Okay. And that fan looks just conspicuous enough that a person could go through if the blades weren't spinning. Or else they'd let me look at it that close otherwise.
It serves you well.
Okay. Close the doors, you say. Aha. That's actually not a half bad way to hide something. What do we have down here?
Spinny boy.
Spinny boy. Okay, I remember these, but I don't remember what they do or what they're for.
This is called a fire marble dome. And you'll just have to figure it out.
Okay. So we've got all these symbols on here. It looks like an eye. One of them is gold. More than one of them? I think that's just a trick of the light. Only one of them is gold. Yeah, just the one. And there's this kind of looking glass. The game closes just about.
Okay, cat. Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry, let me get out of here. This is hella loud. Closes just about every other door before you. That's true. That's true. I don't think I ever paid attention to that before.
I just want to. Mm,
We're doing this at. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is that thing in the other room.
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Okay, so it turns gold when it's, I think, flat vertical. Yep. So this is... Oh, okay. So it stopped. And flipped over. Awkward mechanism, but okay.
That metal sound when it just goes clonk.
Oh, that's gold. And
Hey, another big gold
that's a book.
dome.
That's a fucking book. And it's got a code on it. Does it do anything interesting? Just reset.
Sounds like a Geiger counter.
Yeah. I get the feeling that this is not something I'm supposed to know yet.
It does seem to be an actual number combination.
Can we arrive at that number by fetishistically multiplying fives together? Because that would be pretty on brand.
25. 125.
Let's say there are, what, 5 different digits? Could be a date, maybe? I'm just kind of skimming through this rather than reading it all. Five, 10, 15, 20. The numbers 1 through 25. 0 through 24, but probably 1 through 25, because that would make sense.
Yep.
I feel like I don't know or haven't encountered this yet.
Nope. Understanding the significance of this having 25 places is something that other people are likely to spoil, but it's something that you're actually supposed to figure out.
There's more than one of these things, aren't there?
There was one on the Temple Island when I said there was a spinny boy.
Oh.
I just think you didn't notice it, even though you walked right
Okay,
past
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I remember that
No, the
rumbling
village
noise
island.
now.
Yeah, when you were on the village island in the jungly area, and you had the Y, like the little cave, miniature cave with a Y in it that you could split your path. That was there was one of these spinny things on top of that.
Okay, yeah, I totally didn't notice that. Okay, there's the catwalk over, and it looks like we're actually going to make it to this. That seems very Channel Woody, whatever this is.
Yeah, I'd say that's
Wait a minute. No. Really? Okay. Yeah, it was a control for the fan. Did we just break into this dude's house?
Actually, this is not a house, but a laboratory.
Okay, wait.
And that's a gun.
Remember that. I'm just poking around out front here because I want to see if I wound up in the same place. Yeah, I did. Okay, that was just an alternate way to get in by the look of it.
Yeah.
Well,
And you just unlocked the door. If you went on without going back, you would have just come across a locked
Okay.
door is all. Also, that pipe with the handle on the base of it, on the table there, is a gun.
I remember this now. Yeah, that was in that catalog. This was one of the things you could buy. It was like the most expensive thing in there, like $400 or $500 or better.
Huh.
This is a...
They knew their merchandising.
This is really hard to read.
It is. Why is it in English?
Yeah, good point. Everybody native to this world speaks Rivenese, or whatever that strange language was, so that means this is a traveler. And given...
Not only a traveler, but a traveler from our world.
Yep, and given this freaking symbol on it again, I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's again.
And to that end, why does Atris speak English? Why do his sons speak English? Because there is an actual canonical reason for that. That's not just like BS canon.
That is a good question, actually. I don't think I've ever thought of that before. Yeah, because Adris was, he was actually born Dunny, wasn't he?
That is explained in the Book of Atris prologue. I can tell you the answer if you want.
That's okay. Let's hold on to that. Latest ink formulation has proven a failure. Even let me drink some water, and I think I will just read this.
The latest ink formulation has proven a failure. Even when writing in my most promising books, I obtain only the barest glimpses of a connection. It is frustrating to expend so much effort creating a blank book only to end up destroying it when it doesn't work. Your mouse is kind of covering it. There are days when the lab is uncomfortably warm from the flames of these failed attempts. The further I refine each element, the formulations of the inks and papers, the physical dimensions of the books, the more I realize that the list of potential combinations is nearly infinite. It is during moments like these that I despair without access to Dunny. My long-term goals may never be accomplished. Nevertheless, there are avenues of research which remain to be explored.
English or American or otherwise known to humanity dating, or is this some kind of weird thing? So is this May 8th, 1982?
Yes. Well, actually, no, I think that's a Dunny date, but it is written in universe as the actual English language that we would speak on Earth as Earth would exist in this universe. The language was learned as Earth English.
Okay. I'm discontinuing regular observations of the stars beneath the fissure. Oh, the telescope thing? Although I've been able to track the dark cloud-like formations that migrate through the star field, and have proven that their paths are cyclical, without proper instrumentation, it is pointless to continue. My general theory concerning the nature of the fissure has remained unaltered since it just first appeared. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces, much like a link. But the apparent physical contradictions surrounding this juncture defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed... Oops, crap, I didn't want to click out of that. Blah, 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 blah. The great column of wind that was formed when the fissure first appeared suggests a vacuum as one might expect in space. Yet my early experimentations revealed the presence of a breathable atmosphere. Yeah, we know that, because we fell through that in mist. That Atris and Catherine threw themselves into the void is further evidence that it might be safe to travel, but without knowing its true nature, I cannot take the risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I were to reopen it after so long, but it is likely that the results would be catastrophic, given the changes that have occurred in this age since that time. This age...
Cat Ham, if there is an explanation, then it is part of a lore piece that I haven't finished reading yet. The only thing I don't know about Mist is book 3, the Book of Denis. I haven't ever actually finished that book, so it might be in there. However, it is certain that there are intelligent creatures out there in ages that do not look human.
Maintenance on the steam vent caps completed 83 to 10. I'm extremely pleased with the continued success of this system. I believe the construction to have been true to the Dunny designs of my memory. Another example of the superiority of the Dunny technology. It's ironic that Atris and Catherine unwittingly provided me with such a convenient source of power. Oh, so Gen is behind all the Steam stuff on this island. Whether it follows channel wood rules. As with many of my views over the years, my thoughts regarding the origin of the fissure have changed. I've recently begun to wonder whether it was actually an unexpected byproduct of the changes Catherine and Atris wrote into this age during their escape. Okay, hold the phone here for a second. Wrote into this age during their escape. So, they were here, screwed with the book to get out, and is that why it's falling apart now?
No. Would you like me to explain why it's falling apart? Because this is, again, Book of Ages.
Sure.
Okay, so the age was already unstable. Gen does not believe that the age was unstable, but it was. What Atris and Catherine did was write in a change that temporarily destabilized it even further. Earthquakes, sky turning dark, and all of that, which then made the age sort of settle more into where it is now, and everything sort of self-corrected. But it's still inherently flawed, which is why Atris has to sit there continually writing into it, trying to keep it stable while we're in here doing his mission for him.
Okay. I do have a lore question along those lines then. I thought that once you wrote one of these link books, you can't really mess with it too much, because if you change the text, you're linking to a world that already exists, not creating a new one. So you're not modifying the thing that already exists, you're just writing a link to a new place.
Kind of. It runs off the idea that everything, time, space, dimensions are infinite. If something can possibly exist, it did at some point in time. And infinite of that thing can exist at some point in time, somewhere, somehow. Even if if there's like two molecules in that age that are transposed, both of those exist in 2 points of eternal reality. And writing a change into a book shifts the link of that book into a place where, well, if you write a change into a book and it's a subtle change, it will effectively change the age. But if you write, I believe you can even write major changes if you know what you're doing. It takes an incredibly absurdly skilled writer to do something like that. Something like someone like Yisha, who is like the second best writer that ever lived behind like the Maker.
Gotcha, and that's how Atris is able to basically keep this age afloat.
And he's keeping it afloat by making tons of small, subtle changes to the age, like briefly changing the density that water might have, or something like that. Just minor changes to the way that the age, even like moving a rock around, could help keep the age more stable technically. Little things like that. But it's the age itself, the core of the age, does not really make super good grammatical sense, using the term grammar loosely here.
And that's why it's kind of fallen
So
apart.
you, yeah. So you can keep, releasing sequels to keep the thing alive, but an inherently bad story is not going to survive the test of time,
Ah,
to use an
okay.
analogy. So
Uh,
because of that, he has to keep writing, and you're here trying to get Catherine out, um, and potentially to rescue the people of this age before the whole thing just crumbles into bits.
okay. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. I saw a notification come up there, so I think somebody might have followed, but I don't have it on my feed. And that might have been from
Yeah,
Facebook.
it didn't pop up.
Actually, I think that was from
Hmm.
Facebook because those, it didn't have the sound effect that my normal follows do. So I did miss your name there. I apologize. I was too busy geeking out over Mist lore. Let's see. Certainly by casting their linking book into the void, they trapped me here quite effectively, but I do not believe that Atris intended the book to be lost in this manner. Much better to destroy it than to... when your wife comes from your father shutting them. Oh, that brings a whole new meaning to self-insert. Oh yes.
I can't breathe.
Your waifu. Also, they had first seen the creation of the fissure. They would surely have thought that the vacuum it created would eventually consume the atmosphere of this planet, a fate which Catherine undoubtedly would have deemed unacceptable in her home for her home world. If I had not been there to supervise the construction of the seal, this is most certainly what would have happened.
I'm alive. I'm
Okay,
okay.
good stuff.
In spite of the attempt to murder
Don't die,
me.
please. If you die, I will be lost in this world.
No, you can just close the game. Press Alt F4 to win the game.
The only way to win is not to play.
Actually, no. There's several ways
Oh,
to win this
okay.
game. Several bad endings and one good ending. Kind of like Myst, actually.
Let's see. Construction of the imagers has proceeded without fault. It's interesting to see how easily I've been able to adapt the Dunny technology to mimic that of the Ahmad?
Hang on.
Ahmed?
Mimic that of the Ahmad.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look up what that word is.
I haven't encountered that one before. In some ways, the similarities between the two cultures was striking. I wonder if perhaps there had been communication or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times.
Okay. Ahmad is a word meaning the natives, usually humans. Um,
So it'd be just kind of like an American saying the
it
Indians.
looks like they were more specifically the Dini inhabitants.
Okay.
Not the what am I saying? The Rivenese.
Right. Communication or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times, maybe Kitas people were even descendants of the Dunny.
Ketas. And you will probably not catch this one. I don't think that her name is mentioned in the Book of Atris, but Keta was an Ahmad, a Rivenese woman that Gen took as his wife.
Oh.
Also, Gen is Atris's father.
Yes.
Atris's mother died in childbirth.
It's possible that if I were somehow able to supply the books with a power source of sufficient magnitude, I could suppress the variance enough to facilitate a solid link. It is doubtful that the geothermal generators could provide such an enormous surge. Perhaps I could adapt the fire marbles. Oh, those things are, they're generators for the books that are inside.
Correct. Now, the dome is not a fire marble. Rather, the dome has a fire marble as its focus. Not its power source, technically, but as a focus.
Interesting.
And a fire marble is actually a glowing Denise stone, which I think might be radioactive, but I'm not sure.
Was that some of those things that might have been in what's his name's ship in Stone Ship and Mist?
Possibly.
Hmm.
I don't know for certain. He might have written them into the age as glowing rock.
Been cataloging the natural elements of this age for nearly 30 years now, yet still I continue to find evidence of the Dunny's preoccupation with 5. Oh, so it's not him. It's the Dunny thing.
It is, but it also holds special significance here because Riven happens to be his 5th age, the 5th age he ever wrote.
Makes sense. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5 had special significance to the Dunny society. From the ancient heraldic, heraldic, bleh, heraldic, heraldic, thank you,
Heraldic.
emblems of the... I cannot read that.
Ruling
Thank you.
elite.
It looked like an N.
To the humble homes of the commoners, it was ubiquitous. Its presence here is obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the texts that I used to compose this age.
Further proof that through their art, the Dunny masters were indeed creating the marvelous worlds they wrote, and not, as many mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. Wait a second.
Now, two things. First of all, the texts he used to write this age, he didn't. The words that he put into this book that he called Five, which is actually called Riven, which, if you took a look at the book cover, at the intro to this book, it's got just a giant
Uh-huh.
5 on it. He names his age by number. So he used other people's words in writing it,
Okay.
copying phrases and symbols out of other books instead of
Oh,
actually
great.
just
So,
generating
so
it on the
Gen
fly.
isn't just a shitty age writer, he's also a plagiarist.
Hmm.
I'm starting to really dislike this guy, you know?
He also says here, through their art, the Denis masters were indeed creating the marvelous worlds they wrote, and not, as many have mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. Which directly contradicts everything I just explained about the art, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it sounds like he has the wrong idea.
Yep, Book of
This is what
Atris.
happens when you forego originality. Don't copy pasta. While most of my constructions have been based on Dunny designs, I see now that the ones I have imbued with the power of 5 are clearly the most beautiful, the most perfect, and I believe the most structurally sound. I already know that Riven's fallen apart.
Hmm.
Still attempt.
Delirious on top of everything else.
Could you read this one really quick?
I am still attempting to determine how the Dunny color symbology reflects this superior design principle. Although superficially it is based on a 6-color system, I am convinced that there has to be a deeper connection to 5. I will continue to investigate. And then it shows 6 of those eye symbols like we saw on the fire marbles. 83, 9, 11. I finally made a breakthrough. I have succeeded in modifying the fire marbles to generate enough power to hold a descriptive linking book in a stable matrix. I have linked it to a new world. It is a harsh and desolate age, but it is nonetheless well suited for my purposes, and so I have designated it my age.
And that's that.
Write that symbol down. Looks like
Yes,
numbers,
it
doesn't it?
does. Yes, it does. I think we've seen the one on the left.
I don't think we have in this.
It-
The one on the right is similar to that one on the Hork head. If you check your Discord.
Oh, right.
No, the froggy silhouette. The one that you said looked like KI. But then it also looks similar to the one right below that, which is the symbol for 5. because it's got the horizontal line. It's like those two drawn together.
Interesting. Okay.
By studying it closely, I believe I will eventually be able to create a more appropriate.
Age for us to resettle on?
Resettle
Now
on.
I will.
For now, I will build an office and set up my living quarters there, in order that I may in order that I may conduct my experiments in safety and without distraction.
So
And here I am talking with such emotion and confidence and tripping over my own damn words. He's a poser script kitty.
Yep, in more ways than one. I must admit that I am proud of my work. Oh god, he's definitely a poser. To think that in such primitive conditions I have accomplished in 29 years what it took the original Dunny centuries to achieve. Note: repair outerwear for work on this world. The goggles may need to be redesigned altogether. That's what happens when your goggles do nothing. 84-413. I have begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven with my new office on some number. The Survey Guild has finally completed the site location for each island according to my exact specifications, and installation of the domes is underway at last.
By the way, the village on the village island is where you learn how all the system works, so you can see exactly what number he's talking about there. You also need to do that, learn how the numbering system works in order to solve the fire marble combination lock puzzle.
Oh, okay. Work on the central power source got off to a bit of a bad start, I'm afraid, but the pace has picked up considerably since then, and I anticipate no further delays. I'm looking forward to finally having a civilized mode of transportation. And then we've got this here again, which I screenshotted earlier.
He doesn't consider trams to be civilized.
This guy. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes. Okay. That is our password. We just have to decode it.
What numbers are these numbers? We know what the first one is.
5. 8567. I caught one of my assistants looking over this journal today. I'm glad I've chosen to write it in a language they cannot decipher.
Like I said, why is it written in English?
That's a good reason. Note: discuss security with each guildmaster. No problems expected from the maintainers, educators, and surveyors. Question the bookmakers and builders more closely.
So in Dunny, there were actually guilds into which every member of society fit. The Guild of Bookmakers, the Guild of Writers, the Guild of Maintainers, the Guild of Surveyors, so on and so forth. He's reintroduced that structure in Riven, or as he calls it, 5.
5 guilds. There it is again.
No, there's like 6
Oh, did I?
guilds.
Okay. 86-10-24. Today I have heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. It seems that under Catherine's leadership, the rebels, or the Black Moiety, as the villagers obstinately insist on referring to them, have attained a new level of sophistication in their terror tactics, and have renewed their campaign to intimidate the villagers into joining them, playing upon their shared superstitions. Villagers are certainly susceptible to this form of coercion, especially given, of late, the rebels' increasing acts of vandalism and theft. This guy's writing is really hard to read.
Well, I mean, it's written in English, so... The Eethrum tapes. Eetrum traps. God, that's hard for me to read too. Eetrum traps.
Have been steadily fruitful this year. Apparently, the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest. No shortage of poison for their darts this season. Such morbid issues aside, the sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract for my pipe, one that is smoother than any of the others from recent years. Poser, script kiddie, bad father, pothead. Again, everyone.
Poacher. He also that trap that you lowered, or maybe didn't lower, in like over where the fan was that you shut off. Etrom trap.
Oh, okay. Some kind of aquatic creature by the look of it. 87.3
Or cave dwelling, at least.
87.329. Chemical analysis of one of the rebel knives has yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I have encountered on the islands. It appears that they have access to a resource of which I am unaware. Perhaps a mine or an uncharted island. Let me trace one of these. Note, most of the knives have been found on the south side of the village. This is the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think a closer inspection of the area is warranted. The fact that they leave these distinctive knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold, and they seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. 87.627. The latest measurements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the islands has slowed tremendously. Thanks, Atris. My previous estimates predicted a total collapse in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures I am uncertain. I have nearly finished writing the something page, and I have every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to relocate to. Yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. Is it possible that it's stable after all? If so, I must discover how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examinations of the something-erd age have thus far proven inconclusive. Take over for me, Nuvi, sorry.
Or perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the fifth age. If so, it would almost certainly be Atris's doing. I have reluctantly decided to abandon my experiments into the behavior of the water of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate, leaving me with little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe the remarkable properties of the water to be caused by a life form that resides in it, specifically a type of bacteria. I'm imagining a
Motile unicellular organism, but one with structures capable of holding bits of water whose combined effect, via surface tension, a stronger force, causes the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Hence the weird water things we've seen before. That's the explanation for that. Is that the weird science thing you were telling me about?
weird science thing.
Prolonged exposure to extreme heat, for example, a period of extended boiling seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theories are still not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of the deeper nature and its possible uses. Dear God, this thing just keeps going. Oh, this is the last one. 8776. An exciting development. Last night, a squad of maintainers stumbled upon a lone rebel scout and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers these flawed linking books, much as my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely portable. Fire marble? Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her. Obviously, with an explicit dunny schematic she must have brought with her to this age. If only I had access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the writing of ages, and need no longer worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Dunny. Regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission.
So he basically credits everything to the Dunny. Even this remarkable little device that's pictured here. He doesn't even consider the fact that it's entirely of her design. It's just not even a possibility to him.
Also,
So he's like, I must get the schematic she used.
he keeps going on about his mission. What is his mission? What is he trying to do?
Book of Atris, you want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
He wants to bring back the civilization of Dunny.
Ah.
Not in his own image, but in the warped image he thinks that it should be, or was.
Okay, that totally meets his personality. Okay, we got another thing here. 87728. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villages from the scope in my survey room, I observed one of the natives swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating, but anchored near the entrance to the bay. I ordered the object removed from the waters for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently, and quite mysteriously, been replaced with a new one overnight. I've long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on the villagers' island, but have paid them little notice until now. Tomorrow I shall send surveyors to catalog the others. Randomly reappeared, that almost sounds like a repair that interested, maybe.
I don't think that Atris did that repair. Alright, this is a different symbol. This was one that was floating in the middle of the water, I guess.
It looks like our 5.
It isn't.
It isn't.
This one is vertical, the 5 is horizontal, and it's not rotated 90 degrees.
Oh yeah, good point. I'm looking at my other screenshots right now. I don't know, maybe Dunny was a great civilization. Well, they,
His mission is a governable. Honorable. Oh boy.
I thought you were going for ignoble there for a second. Maybe his mission is an honorable one. I don't know about this guy. I have yet to read anything positive about Gen yet. Like, literally one word.
He is... Yeah, I got nothing.
Definitely a designated bad guy. That was the trap thing from earlier.
It's a trap.
Kind of distilling thing here.
A distilling thing, yes. It's called a still.
Thank you, Mr. Data.
No, I'm not Data. I said it's... If I said it is called a still, then yes, you can call me Data.
He just wants to bring the Dunny back. What's wrong with that? The greatness of the Dunny. Well, you know...
The Dunny did great things. Terrible, yes. But great.
Ah, it's a sample of that water. That's just kind of cool.
Yep.
That answers some questions then. The greatness of the Dunny. They were a proud people.
Proud. Which is... It makes you wonder, if they were a proud people, why did they live in the place that they did?
Mm. Oh look, in a tree, a 5-pointed star.
This is like the affirmation bias.
That is totally a vice.
And with that, that's totally a vice. With that, it is 11 Mountain, so
yes.
we should go ahead and start drawing this to a close.
That is a good point. I think I've poked at everything in here except for the... Is there anything in here worth looking at?
They lived there for the better tax rates.
Well, we have a burned book. Oh, this is a linking book, or at least it used to be before it got burned.
Yep. It was not as stable. Remember, the book said that no matter what he did, he could never get more than the barest glimpse from these books. The whole reason that he built the rotating fire marble domes was to focus the books and make them function. They will only work in those domes. However, Catherine brought a device that somehow makes those books work.
All right.
Also, there are rebels, and Catherine is leading them or something.
Did that save? Yes, it did. Okay. All right. That is it for the night. Everyone, thank you very much for coming by. Thank you for watching. Thank you, New Van Dybe, for being
Hey.
awesome, helping out with the lore, making sure I don't miss completely obvious things.
Yep. And next time we stream, I don't know, is it going to be you or is it going to be me? Who's hosting whom?
Do you have Riven on Steam?
I do have Riven
Would it,
on Steam.
well, you've played it recently, though, haven't you? That would kind of
But
defeat the whole purpose.
I haven't played it recently. I just know everything there is to know about it, and yes, I think it would. Lately, I've been streaming other games. I'm trying to get through the Final Fantasy VII remake, but I might actually end up streaming the original Final Fantasy VII instead. I don't know.
Huh.
Still kind of deciding.
That might be worth checking out. Either way, please stop by my channel, Karunamon, or New Van Dybe's channel. One way or the other, you will catch one of us tomorrow night. And
Yep. Well, we usually host each other, so if you stop by and someone's streaming, it's going to be one of the
yep,
two of us.
exactly. Please smack that follow button, and we will catch you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Have a good night.
Peace.